Hi, I'm Simone, and today we're going to be making really pretty heart-shaped cookies, which are beautifully light and ideal for Valentine's Day. I wanted to share some tips for this recipe, and the first tip is that whenever you're baking anyway, you should always use the best quality ingredients that you can. But for this specific recipe, I would really advocate using a really good quality butter, as when you're making any kind of biscuit, you'll always be able to taste the butter through, so the better quality butter that you use, the better the biscuit will taste. And the second thing is that you'll mostly see me using a K flexible beater. Now, I use this for sponge cakes, muffins, that sort of thing. But if you're making pastry, you're making fruit cakes, biscuits, anything like that, I do use a steel blade, as I find that it cuts through the ingredients better. But you can just make this by hand, or you can use it, make it using a food processor. That works just as well. It's just that I have a stand mixer and I prefer it. To start with, I cut the butter into small pieces so that I could put it in the mixer a lot easier, and then I whisked it quite fast for around about a minute, just so that the butter's a lot softer before we start to add the other ingredients, because you'll find that it incorporates a lot easier. When you've finished, just scrape down the sides of a bowl and you're ready to add the egg. So you can either add the egg directly into the mixture, or I find it easier to break the egg into a bowl and whisk it with a fork first, so that the yolk is broken, and then add it to the mixture. It also helps because if you get any shell or anything in the bowl, you can always take that out before you've added it to the rest of the mixture. Once you've added the egg, you can add the vanilla. You mix that in a little bit as well, perhaps in the mixer or by hand, and then you add the sugar and do the same. Now I've added all of my ingredients, I've put it into the mixer and set it on a medium speed, and I'll mix it for around about 30 seconds. So you only need to mix it until it starts to clump together, because you want it to stick together when you take it out of the bowl. But don't over mix it, so as soon as it looks like it's all come away from the sides, that's when you need to stop so that you can take it out of the bowl. If you feel like it's not quite coming together, you can add some milk or some water as well if you prefer. Just add just enough so that it sticks together. So only add it maybe half a teaspoon at a time, because once you've added it, you can't take it away again. And you don't want to add too much, you don't want it to be really sticky. Once you've taken the mixture out of the bowl, just roll it into a ball and then flatten that into a pancake shape, and wrap that in cling film and refrigerate it until it's cold, so around about half an hour or an hour depending on where you live. Now I've made the biscuit mix, I've taken it out of the fridge. I don't want to use all of it today, I'm going to freeze the rest of it, so I cut a small piece off, and then I'll be cling filming it back up again and putting it into the freezer. It'll keep for around about a month. So I roll mine out onto parchment paper, and the reason I do that is you don't need to add too much flour, just a little bit of flour on the rolling pin to roll it out, and none at all on the bottom. It means that you can roll it out without it drying out and cracking, and it also means that if you have any spare bits, you can roll those up into a ball and re-roll it, and you haven't added too much flour to the mixture. It also allows you to roll it out a little bit thinner. So when I roll mine out, I roll it out to around about 1/4 of an inch or half a centimetre. The thicker it is, the chewier it'll be. If you make thinner cookies, they'll be a lot crispier. As I added desiccated coconut to mine, you'll notice that there are little coconut bits that come out once I've cut it with the cutter. If you just tuck those underneath, when you put them onto the baking sheet, they're hidden underneath. That way they won't be exposed to the heat in the same way, and they won't burn. Always ensure that when you're baking your cookies, you do so on a sheet that's lined with baking parchment or foil first. I decided to decorate my biscuits using pink buttercream. You can find my pink buttercream recipe on the link below. So I'm using a writing tip and a piping bag. If you don't have those, you can use a Ziploc bag instead, that's absolutely fine. Just a very small hole at the end to enable you to do some writing detail. I've also decided to use pink here, but you can use any colour, or you can use a combination of colours to make really cute effects on your cookies. So once I put it in the piping bag, I just make sure that I've got all of the air holes out, and then I use both hands, one hand to steady myself, and I've decorated my cookies with really cute little comments like "Be mine" and "I love you." But you can write anything. You don't even need to write anything if you don't feel confident doing that. You can also decorate them using chocolate.
Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe, and feel free to leave any comments on the bottom of the screen. Thanks.